And now, time for weekly show with a passionate India lover, chairman of ITV Gold and Parikh Worldwide Media. Get ready for loving sharing from physician, philanthropist, publisher, and India advocate in This Week.
Welcome to This Week with Dr. Sudhir Parikh. Renowned for his medical expertise and astute observations on global affairs, Padma Shri recipient Dr. Parikh joins us to delve into recent developments shaping our world. Today we'll explore politics, conflicts, and cultural milestones. Dr. Parikh, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Namaskar. Namaskar, everyone.
Let's start with the show right away. Dr. Parikh, the Indian rupee hit an all-time low for the fifth straight session. How do you see this affecting inflation, foreign investments, and India's economic outlook for 2024? And what can the RBI and government do to prevent further depreciation?
Well, I think whenever the currency goes like this, it means that our economy is weaker. Inside the real economy is weaker, and RBI has to take some steps to pop up that rupees. Otherwise, rupees will every sort of 2 years, every 4 years, it depreciates 10%. And in no time, they are predicting that that rupees will be by 2026 will be 100 rupees per dollar. So that's not good news, because then all the import is very expensive, plus the inflation will be high, and people's ability to spend money is very low, because the rupees does not buy enough goods, because most of the goods are manufactured and imported from the outside. And so I think government, RBI has to do very drastic changes or steps to stop this decline of the rupees. But usually it shows that our economy, even though we are saying that our economy is doing well, but it is not doing well, really.
What are the benchmarks we have to consider to say the economy is doing better?
Well, I mean, your currency should remain stable. Number two, of course, your GDP has to be, GDP has to be very consistent, and cannot be inside data should be more accurate and correct. And of course, we have to, if there is inflation, then the interest rate has to be raised, and borrowing from the bank to the bank or bank to the businesses has to be very restrictive. Then the economy will look better.
Right. Dr. Parikh, the NYC subway attack has renewed debates on public safety, mental health, and immigration. How can cities like New York address rising crime while balancing humanitarian approaches to immigration and mental health?
Well, I think it's a very difficult thing. That's why people are saying that you cannot. That's why they were saying that Biden policy was not correct, because by having everyone to come in from the southern border, open border, so you don't know who is coming, and that's number one. Number two, there are people who are here who has no job, who are homeless, and obviously they have some, or they can have some psychiatric problem, and these are the people who can do this kind of criminal, violent thing in the subway without any reason. And of course, these people are also on the drug, because unfortunately, I personally believe that legalizing marijuana or legalizing all this inhaled pleasure substances is not good, because that really literally affect the person's mental capacity and mental and it does affect their thinking power and so forth.
Do you think when Trump comes as a president, he's going to stop this and reverse this marijuana?
Yeah, actually they should, because there is no advantage, and once it's legalized and everyone is using kind of there's no limit to it, you know.
Absolutely.
So that's not good, and I think Trump administration should consider this.
Dr. Parikh, reports suggest Trump may withdraw the US from the WHO if re-elected. How could this impact global health initiatives, pandemic preparedness, and US leadership? What might it mean for India and South Asia?
I don't think he will withdraw from WHO, because that WHO is a very large institution, and it helps a lot of people in different ways throughout the world. So I'm not sure. I mean, what he's saying is kind of a negotiation, or some kind of putting a pressure on the WHO.
Yeah.
But I don't think he will withdraw from the WHO. And once he withdraws, then it's very difficult for him to go back, because now other country has enough resources to carry on without USA.
Bangladesh's extradition request for Sheikh Hasina signals growing tensions with India. How could this affect India's diplomacy, trade, and regional stability in South Asia?
Well, it does affect, at least it does affect with the Bangladesh, and once you affect with the Bangladesh, it can affect with the neighboring countries like Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Nepal, and so forth. And so I think somehow they should find a third country where Prime Minister Hasina can resides outside and outside India, and that would be the better solution to it. But solution has to be diplomatic way to bring it, you know.
With growing US aid and bond purchases for Israel, how might this shape domestic debates and influence US foreign policy in the Middle East, especially on the Israel-Palestine conflict? And what are the long-term complications for US diplomacy if public sentiment shifts against unconditional support for Israel?
Well, I mean, USA will have unconditional support for Israel anyway, because that was a US commitment to when Israel was formed. And I think USA has advantage of having supporting the Israel, because Israel is kind of de facto USA in Middle East, and to protect the USA interest. And therefore, it's going to be there. And but I think a lot of world countries are opposing it, and I think they should settle this Palestine and Israel problem by diplomatic way. Give the statehood to the Palestine people, even though it controls by Israel. That's fine, but that way at least there is a peace in the Middle East.
Right. Trump emphasized unity in his first rally since the election. How significant is this shift for his leadership? Trump's comments on reclaiming the Panama Canal sparked controversy. How could this affect US-Latin America relations, and what's the likelihood of follow-through?
Well, I think it will create a little more controversy and more friction and tension. And I don't think Trump will follow through what he's saying, because Panama Canal is very important for the trade in the Southern America continent, because otherwise cargo has to go all the way down to Argentina and come back, and then that will become so expensive. So I don't think that's whole idea behind having Panama Canal is to cut through the South America, so the whole trade for trade or for cargo, they don't have to travel, which becomes very, very expensive. And of course that it means it make the whole goods are very expensive.
What does Trump's alliance with Elon Musk say about billionaire's influence on policy? Could Musk's new federal role create conflicts of interest or benefit?
Well, it depends how Trump let him put his Musk ideas and thinking in the reality. because actually right now people are kind of raising the question, because Trump, I mean, Musk is not, Elon Musk is not elected person. And so Trump, I mean, people say that if he is not elected, how can he make a decision, you know? And I think slowly, I have feeling that his role will be slowly will kind of diminish, diminish.
Why do you think Trump avoided discussing tariffs? Could this signal a shift in trade policy?
Well, I mean, he has to be realistic too. I mean, this tariff is important, but the very high and aggressive tariff of on any country will really affect both that country's export and our import, and again it raises inflation. So I think it's not a good idea. Has to be done in a very balanced way.
Trump highlighted increased Hispanic and Black voter support. What drove this shift, and can it reshape the GOP's strategy?
Yes, I think in last election we saw that a lot of Hispanic and a lot of Black people they voted for Trump, and because all those people are interested, voted for Trump because they are more interested in their own self economy and self finance of the family. And I'm sure if Trump can manage to make the economy good, interest rate low, then I think that kind of support will be more stronger, and I think Democrat will lose that part of that support, you know.
India's refusal to visit Pakistan for the 2025 Champions Trophy, citing security concerns and political tensions, is a significant development. How do you foresee this affecting the broader relationship between the two countries, especially in terms of sports diplomacy?
I think the sport should be above the politics. Personally, I believe that, and I think Indian team should go to Pakistan, and the same way Pakistan team should come to India to play, because the sports is not really politics, and the politics is not the sports. So, sports is for the entertainment of the people, and I mean, security should not be a problem, because both country has enough security apparatus to secure the whole thing.
Today is the 100th birth anniversary of Mohammad Rafi. Why don't you share with us your favorite Mohammad Rafi song?
Well, I mean, Mohammad Rafi was very popular, and it's a legend of his time. And I mean, every other song was sang by Mohammad Rafi, and so and I was very fan of Mohammad Rafi. But I mean, I cannot give you the name of the
Any
song.
favorite memory you have?
I mean, I think he was kind of, if you look at, I mean, I met him personally a couple of times when.
Oh, you did?
Yes, when he was in New York City, his concert. But that time, I mean, if you meet him personally, he was very unassuming, very short stature, not very impressive gentleman.
Oh.
But he was, I mean, very polite, very personable person. And I mean, of course, his voice was is a gift of the God.
Yes.
And I think he was the male playback singer in Bollywood.
Thank you so much, Dr. Parikh, for sharing your invaluable insights into these pressing global issues. Before you give out this week's message, I want to remind our viewers that you can follow Dr. Sudhir Parikh on Facebook with Dr. Parikh and on X with his handle Sudh Parikh.
Well, dear friends, today is a Christmas Eve. Tomorrow will be a Christmas. I would like to wish all the ITV Gold viewers, family and friends a very, very happy Christmas, and enjoy the family gathering, eat good food, and then be ready for the new year. And also I would like to wish again in advance Happy New Year to everyone, and happy and prosperous New Year to everyone. Enjoy. Thank you.